How to draw a mouth licking 2 water balloons.
Bruh, no. No, what is that? Okay, it's a fish. Jeez. Oh my god, I hate these kids. What's up guys, welcome. It's been a while, but today we're gonna take a look at some more TikTok art tutorials. My absolute favorite. Let's see what abominations we'll come across today.
How do artists go from this to this? What secret are they hiding? Well, listen up, because I'll tell you in 6 steps. First, fill your sketch with a flat color. Next, choose a darker color and fill in the major shadow shapes. And then, inside your shadows, fill in the even darker areas to create depth. Then, add highlights to make it look even more 3D. Now, with an airbrush, add blush to the cheeks, nose, lips, and ears.
Did you take this from me? This is literally how I render step by step.
Use this as a base to render your drawing by refining your values. And now, you should have a complete drawing. But even if you don't, do not give up.
I love the way you've broken down the render in simple steps. I do the same thing, flat colors, shadows, and then add highlights and darker shadows and blend everything together with some blushes. So this is gonna get a solid 10 out of 10 for me.
A common mistake artists make when drawing the eyes is angling the front plane. People have this misconception that the face has to be curved, which is not true. The eye consists of 3 parts: the skull, the eyeball, and the eyelids. The front plane of the skull is basically flat. Then we have the eyeballs, which are spheres, but the front plane of the skull is still flat. Then the eyelids wrap around the spheres and create curved eyes, but the front plane is still flat. Essentially, it's a curve behind a flat surface. To fix the mistake, we should start by drawing the front plane of the head, then we can draw the eyeballs, and lastly make the eyelids wrap around the eyeballs.
Okay, so I think I understand what he's talking about here. The front plane of most people's faces is not completely flat. There is a slight curve to it, but I think what he's getting at is too many beginners tend to add too much of a curve to it. So I think in this case, a lot of people mistakenly believe the front of the face is curved like this, when in reality, it's probably more like that. So it's a little bit confusing because the front of the face is not completely flat, but I get the idea here. That's gonna get a 5 out of 10.
Let me teach you how to draw a mouth licking 2 water balloons.
Bruh, no. No, what is that? Okay, it's a fish. Jeez.
Ways to improve your art.
For beginners.
From an art student.
Quick info.
I've just completed my 3rd year of art.
Okay, don't tell me a life story now. Come on, let's get to the point.
Draw from observation.
I know it's cliche, but it truly helps your skills in understanding shapes.
Make sure it's IRL items and not photos.
Draw diverse subjects.
Widen your horizons.
Wait, what?
Draw a large variety of different subjects so you get a better understanding of multiple skills.
Draw with confidence.
Try drawing with fast and confident lines.
And if it's digital, don't undo.
This exercise helps loosen you up.
True.
Trust your eyes.
If you're drawing digitally, try approximating colors instead of immediately eye-dropping it.
True.
This will aid in learning hues and tones.
Learn your tones.
Try redrawing a photo, but remove the color from it first.
This will allow you to learn shadows and highlights without worrying about colors.
Okay, this last point is really good because it targets your understanding of values, which is one of the most important fundamentals. When I was just a little baby, that was all I did back in the mythical Chinese art schools. The Chinese art shifus would teach us, you know, to understand values before we actually jumped too deep into colors. But look, I was a little bit confused on this first point because it said draw from observation and make sure it's in real life items and not photos. So early on during my art training arc, this is actually one of the myths that kept getting repeated to me, which is, you know, drawing from real life is so much better than drawing from photos. It's not. It's just a slightly different type of observation. With a photo, it's already been compressed to 2D for you. With something in real life, you're gonna have to compress that yourself. Even if you don't have access to real life objects, it's perfectly fine to practice from photographs because it teaches you just as much about the object that you're drawing. So let's end that myth, okay? 7 out of 10.
So you're an artist. Yeah. Are you good at it?
Terry Crews? What's going on? Wait a minute. Wait, what? What? How come I didn't, what? What? Huh? Yo, hold up. What the? This is from 2022. How come nobody told me about this? What? I didn't know Terry Crews was an artist. That's crazy. Oh my God. And this is such a good drawing too. 10 out of 10. Ah, yes. Chinese art tips. Don't worry guys, I will translate. That says, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Okay, so this says grays, highlights, reflected light. That is beautiful. Oh my God. And that is like the material texture. Wow. Oh my God. Okay, shadows. grays. Oh, that is so nice. Okay, that's like the text. Oh my god. Details. Okay, clothing now. This is the shadows. This is the grays. This is the reflected light. This is the darkest darks. This is the details. Some more details. Some more colors, lighting. Okay, this is such a fantastic Chinese way to say so much without saying anything. You know, this is as close as it gets to the perfect rendering process, at least in my opinion, because this breaks down all of the most complex elements into individual layers. Absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10. Look at that. Oh.
You have to start coloring your illustrations this way. It lets you do whatever amount of variation of colors you want, all of them using the exact same base. Okay, so here is how it works. Super simple. You're gonna have here your background, and here you're gonna have your character. Both of them on different layers. Now these three other layers are the key to the whole thing. Layer 1 is going to be in overlay, layer 2 in multiply, and layer 3 also in overlay. You're going to use layer 1 to give like a general mood or tint to your background. Layer 2, you're going to use a very similar color to paint your whole character in shadows. And layer 3, here is where you paint the light that is hitting your character. Background, overlay, character, multiply, overlay. Let's say that we want something blue for our background. I'm going to use a similar color to paint my character as if he were in shadows. This might be a little bit too dark, so maybe something like that. Now the overlay layer is the key to make our character look 3D. Here we're gonna make our character have 3-dimensional shape by painting the light. And if you want to change the mood, it is as easy as changing the color of these 3 layers and you are set.
Wow. So I've been experimenting a little bit recently with, you know, some grayscale to color paintings, you know, by adding overlay layers as well as multiply layers on top of the grayscale drawing. And it's kind of like a similar idea to this, but this really breaks that process down and makes it so easy to grasp. I feel like this gives you so many options and varieties that you can do with the same character and the same background. 10 out of 10. Jeez. How I draw a face. Now, those are some very nice faces. Step-by-step toots. Okay, circle for the head. Make a plus line to mark add a small mark on the chin, and then add 2 lines on the sides of the head. Connect the jawline. Add a little neck, shoulder, etc. Circles for marking the eyes, for the mouth and the nose, and then erase. Add smooth lines. Wow. More erasing. Okay, and then more solid lines. Add some hair and wow. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know. This process doesn't seem to involve that many measurements. You know, there's a lot of placing of like round shapes for generally where the eyes go, generally where the nose goes. So it's a little bit different from the method that I usually do, which is measuring out like the proportions and the facial features. But this seems to work really well for this artist. And these final results look so good. Like, come on. Come on, these are amazing. 10 out of 10. Well done.
I actually started doing this when I started to do character design, and I would start off my characters by designing them through silhouettes, which helped me, you know, make them more iconic. Our brains are actually really good at recognizing silhouettes. In this demo, I'm just trying to show you guys how I would use this technique with a reference photo. What I'm doing is I'm ignoring all the negative space. I'm taking what I see and basically building it into big chunks and big shapes, and then later on I can use it as a foundation for my sketch. This way it's a lot easier to just change the shapes until the anatomy looks correct. If you struggle with posing or anatomy, I highly recommend you give this a try.
Dang. Can we just pause for a second and admire how beautiful that sketch is? My goodness. My eyes have been blessed. When it comes to good iconic character designs, of course, there are a lot of other elements that come into play, but the silhouette is one of the most important ones. Just think of all the most iconic characters from your childhood. If I were to black out all of their features and just show you their silhouette, you would know exactly who they are. So even though I don't use this method in my current drawing process, I think this could actually be something that I can incorporate in my future character designs and drawings. 11 out of 10. Do you hate when your smudge brush looks like this? Let's fix that. Isn't that just when you press a little too hard? Choose whatever airbrush you like, go to properties, and turn the smudge pull to none. Oh, I see what you've done. Okay. It just blends the colors now instead of pulling them. Interesting. That's a very good tip, actually. I know a lot of artists out there are pretty heavy-handed. You know, you guys like to choke your pencils and just stab your screens. You know who you are. So this could genuinely be something that actually helps you blend a little bit easier. But for me, I think I usually keep the pull on and I just like press very lightly and I'm very careful careful with my blending. 10 out of 10 though, good job. Let's fix our art block. Okay, I'm down. Go to this site. Every single frame. Choose a film. Oh, no way. No way. Pick a random frame that you like. No way, look at that. Block it out, okay. Oh, look at that grayscale. Beautiful, throw some colors on. My goodness. Well done. No, you well done, Jared. Jared, not me, Jared. No, you well done. Look at you, Jared. Now, I have to admit, I've done this too for my past studies, but not actually on this website. I instead go to this illegal site where you can stream all the movies in the world, and I'll just go through the movie illegally and pause on a good illegal frame. But of course, I don't do that anymore because I'm now an upstanding citizen. 10 out of 10. Oh, geez. Built like an AirPod. Oh. Oh my. I feel like I need to talk to a trusted adult about this experience that I've just had. Underrated art tip. Use implied lines so that your line art looks 10 times better. Are we gonna... That's it? Are we gonna explain what that is? Like, is it in the caption? No. Yeah, okay. That's great. Yeah, this is why I love TikTok. It's just, oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, everywhere I go on TikTok, there's just so much context for everything that I see. It's, oh my God, I hate these kids. It's like, what are you talking about? You gonna explain what you're talking about? Listen, bro, I don't even know what implied lines is, but just based on that name, I think it's referring to having a variation in your line quality so that some parts of the line is barely visible or basically invisible. And when you contrast very thin and very faint lines to very thick and very dark lines, you get a great variety of lines. And that contributes to your overall line quality. That bumps up the quality of your lines. How hard was that? You couldn't explain that, but come on, like 1 out of 10. Art teachers would hate me. I wonder why. What's going on? That's a nice looking eye, okay. What? Oh damn, okay. Oh damn, bro. Art teachers would hate you because you know how they always want you to show your process in school? What the hell kind of process was that? Guy went on like 5 different side quests before he just decided to lock in at the end. Forget the art teachers. I hate you. 10 out of 10. Actually, no, 9 out of 10 because the eyelashes are friggin' pointing in different directions. Can we make them go the same way? The sketches I did today. Oh, dude, that is so sick. Whoa, dude. Okay, look at that. Amazing. Amazing. Never have I seen such glorious drawings of John Cena. 10 out of 10. What the... Oh, dude, what the... Dude. What am I on, Goon Talk? Why am I getting so much Goon content? I'm tired of this. That's it, guys. Let's get out of there before we get this channel demonetized, reported, and suspended for violating community guidelines. Anyways, guys, if you're on TikTok, go show these creators some love. Hopefully you learned something new from this video. And if you did not, hopefully you had a good time. And because I wish to see your beautiful face back here next week, please subscribe to my channel for more art content just like this. And check out my Patreon for monthly long-form art tutorials. That being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. God, these Goon Talk. Disgusting. How do I tell this algorithm that I'm interested in more of this?